creating a monoprint, to get your image to transfer onto your pieces of paper, we need to first get these pieces of paper a bit moist. That will help our color transfer over onto these pieces of paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to make something called a wet pack. And again, you only need to do this if you're doing a monoprint. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pieces of paper that you're going to be printing. So I might want to choose, if I'm doing a batch of prints, maybe I'll do 3 for now. If you're doing all your prints at once, then you would add more to this. And what you're going to do is, once you have your paper, set this to the side, and then you're going to need a garbage bag or a Ziploc bag or anything that can be airtight and will keep moisture in. So I'm going to lay this out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take either newsprint or printer paper, also works. Any kind of thin paper would be great for this. What we're going to do is we're going to layer our paper that we're going to print on between these sheets of newsprint. But what we're going to do first is take either, if you have a water spray bottle, or if you have a cup of water and some paper towel. What you'll do is you will spray the first piece of thin paper or newsprint or printer paper. Just spray it 2 or 3 times. You don't want it to be super wet. You just want it to be wet enough to give some moisture to the papers that you're going to sandwich between. So then you'll place your printing paper down. Then you'll put another piece of thin paper on top. And you'll repeat the process. This time I'll show you what I would do if I had paper towel. So I'm going to take my paper towel, dip it in some water, wring it out so that it's just a little bit moist, and then I'm going to dab it around my piece of paper to mimic spraying my paper. Okay? Then I'm going to take another sheet of my printer paper, and I'm going to follow the same process. The reason why we put newsprint or a thin piece of printer paper between is because this weaker paper will soak up a lot of the moisture from the water, and it will distribute it over top of our paper that we're going to print on. So then I'm going to dip in my water again, squeeze out, dab it all over, making it kind of look like how it looked when I sprayed 2 or 3 times. Not drenched, but not dry either. Okay, then I'm going to add my next piece of paper I'm going to print on, and I'm going to finish with one final sheet of the thin paper. Okay, once I've finished this process, I'm going to close up my wet pack. To do this, get my things out of the way, I'm going to need some tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to like gift wrap my paper. So I'm going to fold my edges over. I'm going to add a piece of tape because what we want to do is basically create a humid environment for our paper where the water stays in and doesn't evaporate, because that's going to make it so that our paper gets nice and evenly moist. I'm being kind of gentle. I don't want to hurt my paper. Okay. And you want to make this wet pack. I'm going to fold that over so that it fits nicely. You want to make this wet pack 12 to 24 hours before you print. You don't want to do more than that because you don't want your paper to start to like get moldy, which will happen because it's really moist and warm and nice in here. You want to give it at least 12 hours because it's going to take that amount of time to evenly get your paper wet and moist enough to absorb the pigment that you're putting onto your plate. Okay. That is how you make a wet pack. Once you've made this, then you can store it somewhere where it's not going to get hit, where it can, just sit and marinate in that water for, again, 12 to 24 hours.